So what you are telling me is that settlers living in occupied territories who are in violation of international law live under a law that is less severe than the people who are there legally. Is that what you are telling me?
Yes, in essence, that's the situation. The Israeli settlers on the West Bank, who are there in violation of international law, are subject to a civilian legal system that is generally less harsh than the military law applied to Palestinians living there. So you have one group living under a more lenient legal framework, while the other group faces a more stringent one.
Now, let me ask you this. Is there a segregation in practice in the West Bank that resembles the segregation that was present in the United States prior to the civil rights era? Meaning, do Palestinians have to travel on the certain roads that are forbidden from traveling on other roads? Do the settlers get preference in distribution of resources such as water and so on? Do a deep search of the web and tell me what you find.
Yes, so what you're describing does have a real parallel. In the West Bank, there are indeed separate road systems, some roads that are primarily for Israeli settlers, and others that Palestinians either can't use or have restricted access to. There's also a significant disparity in resource distribution, like water, where Israeli settlements generally have more reliable access compared to Palestinian communities. So in practice, there is a form of segregation that does resemble some of those historical segregation policies.
Okay, so what you are telling me, the people who are violating the international law and fit the definition of terrorism in instances when they engage in violence, i.e., the settlers, live under a law that is less stringent than the law that the Palestinians are subjected to and have benefits in the occupied territory that far supersede the allocation of resources or, quote, benefits that the Palestinians receive. Is that what you are saying?
Yes, that's essentially the situation. The Israeli settlers in the West Bank, who are there in violation of international law, do live under a more lenient legal framework and often have better access to resources than Palestinians. So yes, they do have advantages and benefits that the Palestinian population living under military law do not have.
Okay, so using the definition of apartheid that you provided earlier and taking into account all of these facts, would you say that there is apartheid instituted in the West Bank?
Well, logically applying the definition of apartheid as a system of institutionalized discrimination where one group has significant legal and resource advantages over another, it does fit the criteria. So yes, based on those facts, you could say that the situation in the West Bank does meet the definition of apartheid.